Salutations, it's Colin, Fearless Son Ferguson. Last time I brought you a video, it was for ODST greaves. Now I will show you the other component we have built for this particular part of the costume, the ODST boots. The boots are a composite of a variety of materials. The sole of the boot down here is actually solid wood. Down on the bottom here, we've placed several strips of rubber. Just glued it down. It's the same kind of matte rubber that they use for stage shows and such to rubberize surfaces, so you can get it pretty cheap used, or even free used since they just discard it. It's actually Canon accurate on the bottom here because, well, you got to put something there, so it might as well be accurate. You got blown up by a wraith a lot in firefight to get that. On the front here, the toes are actually created out of a piece of solid steel. This was done by cutting into it, bending it, cutting into it, bending it, cutting into it, bending it, again, and a little welding, a little smoothing, and etc. There are probably a lot easier ways to do it, so I don't necessarily recommend that. But, you know, metalworking is something we know how to do, and work with what you know. It is attached on the front by a screw here, and then another major screw on either side, and a couple of supplemental screws. Same thing, this on the back here is also another piece of solid steel. It's just bent into shape, attached by a screw here, and shares a screw over here with the other piece. This thing is another piece of metal that's been welded to it. We just got that by bending a little metal rod into the appropriate shape and cutting it right down the half, then soldering it to this. Now, over here, we can seal the top of the metal bit with some strips of rubber here. Each of these strips, a few of them are fixed down in place. Some of them actually just have little holes at the bottom, which the screw goes through, so that pulls double duty. Around the sides here, we have yet more of this rubber. It is very important that this rubber part be high. It has to be very tall, because if it's not, what's going to end up happening is it's going to slip out of the back of the greave as you're walking around, since your foot moves a little differently. As long as it's up high, you can kind of squish it and get it all in the greave, and it should stay fine. Allows the ankle a lot of flexibility. Inside the rubber here, we've mounted a very old boot, and the larger costume boot is actually built around this old boot here. So you can kind of just lace it up in here. It's a little hard to get into, obviously, but that's also why we added this little nylon strap here to the back. This is something you can use a little like a shoehorn. You can grab this and use it for leverage as you're pushing your foot down into this boot. Once you have that on, you can just, with some effort, push the rubber back around and get it all sealed up here, and then the greave closes over the top and nobody really notices the difference. So I suppose that would be it for the boots. I plan on wearing these over at PAX. I should also stress that making boots this manner makes them very, very heavy. But, you know, as most actors will say, gimme the shoes. Think of it as a little like method acting. As long as you have these on, all your movements will be very, very strong and purposeful. Thank you for watching. Next time we'll try to be back with an ODST helmet and possibly an assault rifle in the future. See you then!